Hi YouTubers, welcome back to another holiday video. My name is Natalka, and tonight I am going to show you guys how to make some overnight buns. These are my favorite buns. Favorite. But a little catch. I have never had them turn out. Ever. I have never had them turn out. So this is my mom's and my great-grandmother's recipe. And my mom has always made them Christmas Eve so that by the time we got up Christmas morning, they were coming right out of the oven, and they made the house smell amazing. Fresh, bright, baked. Oh my gosh, I cannot speak today. All right, fresh baked buns, first thing in the morning, Christmas morning. It is my absolute favorite. So she's always made them. Anytime I have attempted this recipe, I have messed it up. It doesn't turn out. My wonderful mother-in-law one year even gave it a try because I missed them so much. And they turned out okay, but they weren't mom's. So I gave up and said, I'm just never going to make them unless I'm visiting mom for Christmas. So anytime we have spent the holidays together, she always makes them. I don't help. I don't do anything. I just enjoy them Christmas morning. But today is different. I have had a whole year of learning how to bake breads, how to use yeast, and I am going to do it. This is the year they are going to turn out fantastic for me. So that's what I'm going to show you guys today. You're going to come along on this bread making journey tonight, and we will see how they turn out tomorrow morning. Overnight buns. Come on, I can't do it all in one day. They've got to sit overnight. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, let's get to it. These buns, my mom has always started them around 5 in the evening. And by the time she is done them and ready to let them rise overnight, it's like 10 at night. So it's going to be a long process, but not a really involved process. Okay, let's get to it and make some overnight buns. The first thing I'm going to do is get the yeast ready. So I'm adding a 1/4 cup of warm water, which is 110 degrees Fahrenheit, into a warm bowl. I warmed up the bowl first, just with some hot water. Then I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of honey. You can also use sugar if you don't have honey. Then I'm going to add a 1/2 tablespoon of yeast. You can use traditional yeast or quick active yeast, doesn't matter. Use whichever one you want. And you're going to mix it all together, just a little mix, nothing crazy. And you're going to set it aside somewhere warm and let it bloom for about 5 to 10 minutes or so. And you'll know it's ready when it looks all foamy on top. All right, so once your yeast has bloomed and is ready to use, you're going to get everything else ready. So in a very large bowl, you're going to add 1 room temperature egg, and you're just going to mix it with a fork or a whisk. Then you're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/8 cup of sugar, 1 cup of warm water, which is 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm using olive oil. You could use avocado or canola as well, as long as it's a 1/4 cup of oil. You're going to give that a good mix, and then we're going to move on to the next step. All right, so next you're going to add your yeast, and using a whisk, you're going to start whisking your yeast into your egg and water mixture here. And as you're doing that, you're also going to be adding 4 cups of flour to it. I would suggest using the whisk only to start incorporating the flour in, and then switching over to a wooden spoon to keep mixing it in. And it's going to look really shaggy and not really coming together yet. It's going to look like a messy ball of dough, but that's okay. We're going to work with it, and we're going to turn it into a smooth and elasticy dough. Okay, so whatever work surface you're using, make sure you put some flour on it. Then you're going to put your dough on your floured work surface, and we're going to start kneading it. Now, I never time myself. I know a lot of recipes will say, oh, knead your dough for 10 minutes. I never time myself. All I know is that you have to knead it until it is smooth and has some elasticity to it. I don't know how long that takes. I'm gonna say it might have taken me 5 minutes of kneading. My hands are also really warm, which helps. So as you're kneading your dough, make sure you just use small amounts of flour at a time to keep it from sticking on your hands and from sticking to your work surface. You don't need a lot of flour, just enough to prevent the sticking. And you're just gonna roll it with your hands and knead it until it turns smooth. And you'll notice that difference because right now it's really rough and almost feels like there's little chunks in the dough. There isn't. It just feels that way. But I found as I was doing this and kneading it, I could feel the difference and it did become really smooth. Once I was done kneading it, actually you probably just saw me set my bowl down while I'm kneading it. I took the bowl that the dough was in, that I was mixing it in, I washed it out, and then I took some oil and greased the inside of the bowl. And that is for when I put the dough back in it, it doesn't stick to the bowl while it's rising. All right, so after you're done kneading it, just shape it into a nice little ball, and you're gonna put it into your greased bowl and cover it with either some plastic wrap, or if your bowl has a lid, put a lid on it and then put a tea towel over top of it and set it somewhere warm so that it can rise. All right, so I had let the dough rise for approximately 2 hours. So I started at like 5:30. It's 7:30 now, and all I'm going to do is punch it down. That's it. I'm not going to take it out of the bowl or anything. I'm just going to punch it down, put the lid back on it, cover it with the tea towel, and put it somewhere warm for another 2 hours. It's been another 2 hours. It's now 9:30. And as you can see, it has risen some more. So I'm going to do the same thing. Just punch it all down. And then I'm going to put the lid back on it, cover it with the tea towel, and let it rise for 2 more hours someplace warm. All right, so it's 10:30 now. It's time to get the buns onto the pans. So I have a very large baking sheet and I greased it with some olive oil, greased it really, really well because I know these buns tend to stick. So make sure you have enough oil on your pan. And then you're just going to cut pieces of your dough and shape them into little balls. And I'm pinching the bottom of each of the balls just to seal any seams and make sure they stay in a ball shape. And that's it. So shape all your dough into balls, put them on pans, and then this is what they look like. And I'm going to leave them overnight uncovered, just as they are sitting here on my counter, and see what they look like tomorrow morning. Good morning, YouTubers. Okay, so it's day 2 at 6:58 a.m. and I got up at 6:30 and I started preheating my oven. It's preheating to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And as you can see, the buns are behind me. They rose pretty well. They look pretty good so far. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the oven to heat up so that I can start baking them. So when my mom makes these, when she makes them, it's like 3 full pans of them. And when they rise, they're almost like all stuck together, but they're perfect every time. And yes, I made half of the recipe. I didn't make a full recipe. But whatever she does, they turn out so much bigger. I don't know if it's because my house just isn't as warm. I don't know. But anyway, my mom does all the write-ups for me. So I make the videos, I edit them, I upload them, and then she does all the write-ups and writes out the recipes. So when she does this one for me, she can write out any notes she wants because this is her recipe. So if she has any tips or tricks about it, she will be the one who puts those in. Like I said, she makes these for Christmas every year, or always did while we were growing up. Not so much now because we all live far apart. And I never help her. I know that's so terrible. I never help my mom make these buns. I just wake up Christmas morning and they're fresh out of the oven. They're already on the table. They're perfect. I just enjoy them. That is my Christmas morning. So, any notes or comments she has, I will get her to write them out. Since she helps me out so much and does all my write-ups. So, thank you very much, Mom. I appreciate all the help. So, I'm just waiting. Yeah, I'm going to put them in the oven in a few minutes. It's not done preheating. And they're going to bake for about 12 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. And for now, I'm going to go and enjoy my coffee while I wait for the oven to warm up.
The buns did rise up nicely. Now, I did make them really small, so these are actually just the perfect size.
Ooh, look at that. So because I'm recording right now, it means I can tell everybody that you're giving me tips on this right now. Yeah, they look good. Oh, I should put the other batch in.
At the bottoms. Between 10 and 12, like usually the first batch is 12 and then the second batch is maybe 11 or 10 and the last batch is 10. See up? Not the song.
Ooh, yeah, they look good.
They're full. Hollow.
Yeah, see, Mom?
Ooh, nice. So what's the bottom, Mike?
So that's top.
Oh, they turned out good.
Yeah, they look great.
I want them.
And they sound hollow, so that's a little closer so you can, I don't know if you can hear it. See them?
Yep, that sounds perfect.
All right, you guys. Buns are out of the oven. I think you guys might have heard while I was recording. I had my mom on video chat while I was getting the buns out of the oven. And because this is her recipe, which is my great-grandmother's recipe, but she's the one who always makes it, she was kind of making fun of me. And she's like, oh my gosh, it has only taken you 40 years to figure out how to make these. And she's not wrong. It has a long time. So she was telling me that my great-grandmother, when she made these buns, she used to try and teach me how to make them by learning how to punch down the dough when I was like a year old. So yes, around 40 years to finally master these buns. And so because this is her recipe and my great-grandmother's recipe passed down, she will add whatever tips and tricks she thinks should be in this recipe. It's her recipe, and she's doing my write-ups for me, so she has free reign on this one. I would also like to take the time to thank my mom because she has been helping me so much with my channel this year, and she's doing all my write-ups. She writes out all my recipes. She uploads it to my all my social media and everything. So I really appreciate the help. It's been amazing. So thank you so much, Mom. Thank you for helping me. And you can make whatever notes you want about this recipe since it's yours. But yeah, while I was taking them out, like I said, she was on video chat. So she made sure I showed her on the camera what the buns look like, that you could hear that they're hollow. So like when you tap them, they sound hollow. They're a golden color on top. She made me flip them over. They're a golden color on the bottom, which means I didn't burn them. I've done that a few years. So they turned out really, really well. These buns have a beautiful shell on them that's a little crispy. But then on the inside, they're really fluffy and delicious, especially straight out of the oven while they're still warm. You put a little butter on them, some homemade jam, and they are amazing. So I've already eaten one. I love them. It is an easy recipe, okay? My problem with making them over the last 40 years is learning how to properly bloom yeast. that was my biggest challenge. And this year, because I've made so many bread recipes, I have finally figured out how to properly bloom. Oh my gosh. I have learned to properly bloom yeast, the right water temperature, that finding the right temperature in your home for the bread to rise, all of those. There's so many factors. And I have finally figured them all out, which is why these turned out amazing. They actually turned out. So I'm very proud of them. My mom is very proud of me for finally figuring out the recipe. And yeah, so that is it for today's video. Please hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell because I am only like 4 subscribers away from reaching 1,000. And I am very excited and I'm very thankful for you guys all helping me grow my channel and supporting me. And thank you. I really appreciate you all. All right, so that's it for today's video. I'm going to go and enjoy another bun or two and some of my coffee. And yeah, go and enjoy my morning since I'm up now. There's no point in going back to bed. All right, I will see you guys all for my next holiday video. Thanks for watching today.